COVID-19 pandemic has caused the world to shift in ways we never imagined we'd see. Many of us are working from home most or all of the time, and some of our friends, families, neighbors, and customers are furloughed or unemployed now due to this crisis. One group of people who are still working and even making big profits, however, are the cyber criminals. I'm Steve Sanders, VP of Internal Audit with CSI. In this video, I'd like to take a few minutes to refresh your perspective on the current challenges due to this pandemic and what we can be doing about it. It should come as no surprise. Phishing is alive and well. The criminals are well aware of our desire for more information, and they are using this to coax us into clicking on links that may compromise our security. Latest COVID numbers in your area. What the government doesn't want you to know about COVID. Coronavirus cure on the way. And PPP loan assistance are all email subject headlines that are designed to pull us in. The bad guys may also be using this time to focus their attacks on certain roles, such as high-level positions, by promising to provide those folks little known information needed to keep their businesses afloat. Related to this, impersonation of experts is a key tool used now. This can be someone impersonating a doctor, a scientist, or even a government official to lure us into their trap. Furthermore, there are shortages of certain products right now, and the criminals know this. They are using this to lure you into their infected website to purchase these goods. Or in some cases, they actually convince you to buy from them, but they never send the product in return. The attackers are also well aware that social media is being used now by troves of people looking for connection with others. They are using many of the same tactics that they're using in email phishing attacks. But it's not uncommon for a social media post to warn you that what they're sharing with you will be removed quickly, causing a heightened sense of urgency in us to find out what it is that may be removed. This typically revolves around conspiracy theories regarding the virus, but it can be other things as well. Social media has become a source of news for many of us, and the criminals have long been using that as a way to cause us to click on a link with a headline that's so enticing we can hardly resist. This is very similar to the email subject lines we discussed earlier. And one of the key ways the crooks are using social media against us right now is entertainment. We are desperate for interaction with others and entertainment, which is causing us to seek out games or other fun things to do. One of the most successful information gathering attempts out there right now is quizzes, where you can learn fun facts about someone else or share your own fun facts. Things such as the street you lived on as a child, your first grade teacher's last name, or your first pet's name. These types of questions are the same sorts of questions that we use as security questions for online banking or other online accounts. This isn't the only problem with these entertaining lures, though. In some cases, the quizzes or games promoted to you are carrying payloads that infect your computer. Unfortunately, the bad guys are providing the appearance of legitimacy to what they are doing by registering domains that sound official, many including words like COVID, coronavirus, and pandemic. The payloads found on these websites, emails, social media, and games include things like ransomware, keyloggers, credential stealing software, and backdoors. Unfortunately, our current working conditions create a very high-risk situation for our institutions. Normal procedures are not in place in many cases, and this creates ample opportunity for fraud. Any transaction that involves customer contact, such as money transfers, are prime targets for the bad guys. In all cases, be on the alert for unusual email addresses or unusual phone numbers requesting money transfers or the transmission of confidential data. The thieves will try to convince us that they are unable to access their normal email and the data needed, or the transaction is critical in some way. Be very aware of these crafty ploys. Even in cases where requests or transactions look legitimate, we may find contacts that we use as secondary confirmation aren't available. It is critical that we don't drop our guard and get sucked into the urgency of some needed transaction, but instead ensure that all normal precautions are taken to keep us from being taken. Finally, business email compromise is especially hot right now. Everyone should be using multi-factor authentication to reduce this risk, But in addition, never be afraid to ask questions if something doesn't seem right. This is also all the more reason to be using a secondary person as confirmation before conducting any sensitive or monetarily significant business. Unfortunately, this is just the beginning of the issues we are now having in this new work-from-home environment. Many users are finding themselves having to use home computers to conduct business, home computers that aren't protected in the same way as their work computer. I cannot stress how risky this is, though. While it may be difficult, it is critical to get users on approved, secured devices to protect your organization. If this is impossible, it is just as critical to limit or even eliminate family use of these devices while they are being used for business. Even in cases where work computers are being used, many IT departments are struggling with Windows and other software updates, as well as security software updates right now. Users aren't necessarily being protected in the same way, or even at all, by our typical corporate security monitoring and defenses. In many cases, employees aren't behind normal perimeter security, increasing their visibility on the internet to attackers. It's also not uncommon right now for employees to let their family members use their work devices when it's at home. Employees should be reminded that these aren't their computers, and any use by non-employees is prohibited. In many cases, we are undergoing cyber awareness training, and our children or our spouses or others who live with us may not be. Their actions on your work devices can introduce unnecessary risk to the institution. Furthermore, much more shadow IT is likely to be performed now as users are struggling to get the time needed from internal IT help desks. In some cases, this is for repairs or workarounds, but in other cases, it's to install previously unused and unapproved software that is perceived to be needed right now for remote work. This is all the more reason to ensure we aren't lowering our defenses or standards for security. Many companies are finding outsourced managed service providers are essential right now as they work through this challenge. Urgency is one of the key tactics of the bad guys right now, and it may indeed be legitimate. People need supplies and charitable entities need donations, but we need to be sure we are going through legitimate channels in all cases, not through links that we encounter in social media or email. So what can we do? First of all, this isn't the time to decrease our cyber awareness campaigns. As difficult as it may be, we need to continue with phishing tests. The attackers certainly aren't reducing their attacks, and we shouldn't be reducing our training. This includes reiterating the institution's policies and procedures, and in some cases, these may need to be updated, which is all the more reason to continue training employees on the changes. Any known attacks should be shared with all employees. Everyone should be well aware of the attacks that are going on right now, which will further heighten their awareness. This is a great time to offer cybersecurity training too. The audience may have never been more captive than they are right now. They are looking for engagement. Short, easy to watch trainings, especially if they include someone they know, are great tools right now. This is also a fantastic opportunity to give tips and tricks on working from home. IT departments need to ensure technology is working as expected. Do you have enough VPN clients? And are they working properly? How about security updates? Are they working as expected? And are your security tools functioning and being updated as expected? Don't forget your customers right now either. This is a great time to reach out to them. First off, to let them know that you care. But beyond that, offer them training opportunities and warnings to help keep them from falling for the attacker's attempts. They will appreciate this. As I close, I want to remind you again, always go to websites directly. Don't click on links in emails or on social media. If an email looks suspicious, report it and question everything. The old adage, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is, still holds up. Remember, CSI is here for you and your institution during this trying time. We're doing everything we can to help our customers not only make it through this, but to make it through it well. This training series is just one part of that. If you have any questions about this topic, or if there are other topics you are interested in related to COVID-19, please let us know by sending an email to covidquestions@csiweb.com. Until next time, this has been Steve Sanders. Take care of yourself, be safe, and stay healthy.